Hi guys, Tom Aldridge here and welcome back to our three-part series on complaints handling. In part 1, we talked about how to respond to a client with an issue. In part 2, we want to focus on investigating the issue to determine exactly what went wrong so we can avoid it happening again wherever possible. The best place to start investigating is always with our process. Often, owners or managers are quick to assume it was a mistake from one of their employees. If we come out all guns blazing, assuming it was their fault, it can have a really negative impact on that team member.
Julie, I just got off the phone with Dave from Eagle Street, and he says you made him late by not explaining our time needed on site.
Firstly, blaming Julie without knowing her side of it is really unfair. And secondly, publicly shaming her in front of her colleagues is downright disrespectful. Even if it was clear she had made a mistake, having a private conversation and speaking respectfully is the only way to achieve a good outcome. But before we go any further, let's take a step back and think about the best way to handle this situation. Even if Julie did make a mistake, attacking her like she has a bad attitude or did make a mistake is going about it the wrong way. I mean, let's face it, nobody means to make a mistake and everybody wants to do a good job, which is why not jumping to the conclusion of a bad attitude is so crucial. The first thing to focus on is what is the correct process. Your process is every incremental step or task within the service provided. In the issue highlighted, was asking them if they have to leave at a certain time part of our process? Was letting them know that we'll be on site for up to 2 hours part of it? Perhaps this wasn't clear to the client, and the additional step of letting them know we could be on site up until around 10 AM could have been added. And lastly, was an email sent with booking confirmation details? If we see a gap in the process that results in a lack of communication or a complaint, then let's focus on filling that gap, not blaming Julie. However, if we review the process and are happy that it covers everything needed, then what's the next step? It's training. We then need to ask ourselves, has Julie been given the correct training and the support needed to fulfill the role properly? Does she fully understand the service or the procedure? Have we seen her perform this task correctly in the past? And does she have a checklist or reminder sequence so she doesn't easily forget the steps when on the phone to the client? If she doesn't have a documented process showing her all of the tasks, it can be tough to ask her to remember all of the steps in her head. But even at this point, even if we know she's been trained properly, has all the support material she needs, and she did make a mistake, we still don't want to attack her for it. People make mistakes. We're human. It's when our team make repeated mistakes that we want to address the situation more seriously. This is where we want to sit down and have a conversation about what might be going on for them to cause all the errors. And it's crucial that we still come from a place of care. Even if the mistakes are causing a headache in the business, we want the best outcome for everyone all round.